All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about HIVE Blockchain, stock ticker HIVE. They are a Bitcoin mining company. They put out their December operational report. They gave us some additional information that we were looking for, so there's a lot to go through. I got a lot of charts, a lot of graphs. I want to talk about December, and I want to talk about the entire year for HIVE. So if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button. Finally, if you want to be a member, you can join the channel by hitting the join button on the YouTube page. If you don't see a join button, there should be a link below. Members get some members-only content. We do a once-a-week members-only live stream, and that's going to be tomorrow after the market closes, so Tuesday after the market closes. And on that live stream, the members get to pick a company for me to do a deep dive video on for the members only. So we have a lot of fun there. We hope you join us. Let's talk about HIVE Blockchain. HIVE put out their monthly operational report this morning. So last month I had some big question marks, and they answered some of them this month. So I think there's some good news in here. There's some tough news in here, but all in all, we're a lot more informed after this update. So I like that in general. So let's take a look at where HIVE is right now. They're at $2.17. They're up about 19% today. So all the Bitcoin miners at this point in the middle of the day are up significantly. So this 19% is not in reaction to their monthly operational update that they gave this morning. This is in reaction to a move that Bitcoin is making, and all the Bitcoin miners, virtually all the Bitcoin miners, are participating in this upward move so far today. Okay, this leaves them at $181 million market cap. We're going to look at their book value. That is less than their book value. Okay, so for now, let's go to the operational update. HIVE Blockchain provides December 2022 production update. This was January 9th, 2023. That was this morning. Okay, so they give a little summary sentence at the top. HIVE Blockchain Technologies is pleased to announce the production figures for the company's global Bitcoin operations for the month of December 2022 and the calendar year 2022, with 213.8 Bitcoin produced in December, plus USD 3.15 million of income from our energy price hedging and grid balancing strategy. Additionally, the company produced assets with a value of 4,752 Bitcoin, based on a daily average price of Bitcoin in 2022, which is an 18% increase from the prior year. Okay, so before I get to the monthly summary overview, there's a few things. An 18% increase year over year, that was much lower than a lot of their direct competitors. So at the end of this, I'm going to update you on my top 8 Bitcoin miners and show you where I think these fit in. But we had several Bitcoin miners that doubled or tripled their production over the course of the year. But this 18% is among the lower increases out of all the Bitcoin miners. So that is just one factor, and a part of that is strategic, and another part of that is 30 to 35% of their revenue was Ethereum. So obviously in the middle of September, Ethereum moved to a proof of stake. So there was no replacement for Ethereum. So these companies' revenue on their GPUs went down drastically, 70 or 80 or 90%. So that did impact HIVE. Now, from their perspective, they've long since paid for all their GPUs. They did make a lot of money mining Ethereum. It also allowed them, they sold most of their Ethereum throughout the year. So they held their Bitcoin, sold their Ethereum, and that allowed them to buy the Intel ASIC chip miners that they made a new relationship with, and they're having their custom machines built. So I do think this all got accelerated on them a little bit by happening in September. I think that it's just my opinion. I think that management was planning on this happening sometime more towards the end of the year or the beginning of 2023, but everybody knew this was coming. So, okay, now summary overview. I've produced 213.8 Bitcoin in the month of December from ASIC and GPU mining operations, representing an average of 113.2 Bitcoin per exahash. We'll talk more about that in a minute. 213.8 Bitcoin. That is the least amount of Bitcoin that they have mined. That is the least amount of cryptocurrency that they mined all year by far. However, this next sentence that I've highlighted, HIVE earned US dollars 3.15 million of income on our energy price hedging and grid balance strategy in addition to Bitcoin production in December. So that's another $3 million they got paid essentially for kicking energy back to the grid in the month of December. So based on daily Bitcoin prices during the month of December, the income from the grid balancing could equate to a mined value of approximately 184 Bitcoin. So that puts things into perspective. When these energy emergencies happen, they actually get paid a lot more incrementally to sell the energy back to the grid than they do to mine Bitcoin, because just that little bit that they sold back was $3 million, which was 184 Bitcoin. That's almost as much Bitcoin as they actually mined in the entire month. For companies like this that get paid to give their energy back, then oftentimes you'll see it's more than worth the reduction in the Bitcoin production. Okay, Hive's strategy to improve its global efficiency was achieved by the agile acquisition of 3,570 Bitcoin S19J Pros at prices steeply discounted from the previous year. So they did buy some machines on the spot market at a very deep discount. In addition, Hive is pleased to deploy its own ASIC Bitcoin miner system for proof of work, the Hive Buzz Miner, in partnership with Intel. So remember, they bought those ASIC chips from Intel, which are supposed to be more energy efficient. They have to build their own machines. So the customers who buy those do need to build custom machines. So they are doing that. They have implemented that. You'll see the next thing is, as a tactical update, in the last 2 weeks, Hive has received and installed over 3,400 new generation Bitcoin ASIC miners in the 100 terahash to 110 terahash range, which is a massive efficiency upgrade which will lower the company's average cost of producing Bitcoin and improve gross mining margins. Additionally, Hive has received and installed 1,423 of its Hive Buzz Miner Bitcoin miners powered by Intel Blockscale out of the total production quantity of 5,800 Hive Buzz miners. These new generation ASIC miners will replace old legacy ASIC and GPU mining equipment to increase Bitcoin mining efficiency. So this is the first of the Intel ASIC mining machines. So we're going to see starting in January going forward how that impacts their efficiency and productivity. December 2022 production figures: 212 Bitcoin produced from ASIC mining, 2.06 exahash of Bitcoin mining capacity at the end of December. I do want to look at their exahash capacity because it has been moving in the wrong direction. I think they've bottomed out and they are now going to continue to increase, but this is a few months in a row that this has gone down. With an average hash rate of 1.89 exahash of Bitcoin mining capacity during the month of December from ASIC mining operations, with an average of 113.2 Bitcoin per exahash. So they do a little more detailed calculation than I do for my efficiency. For my efficiency, I just take their total exahash and divide it by the amount of Bitcoin they mined for the month. They do this on basically a day-to-day, minute-to-minute basis. So they're saying when they do that, their average hash rate was 1.89 for the month of December. So that increases their efficiency on their Bitcoin mining machines to 113, which is very high. Hive has always been among the highest efficiency Bitcoin miners. An additional 1.4 Bitcoin were mined by our GPUs in December. So you can see the GPUs, unfortunately, have become, at this particular moment, virtually useless. This number used to be hundreds when they were mining Ethereum. It's now down to 1.4 Bitcoin. So that obviously has had a big impact on their numbers. Okay, now I want to go further down the press release. They have a section called Bitcoin Hodl Update. This is a section that they used to have in their press releases. Last month, this was absent. They did not report their HODL in their November 2022 operational update. So that was a gap. It was concerning to me. They did have a sentence in there that they had to sell a lot of Bitcoin, but they did not update what the HODL was, so we really didn't know what that number was. So that remained a mystery for a month. Well, they have filled in some of the mystery here, and I've done a calculation rolling this forward. Adding this disclosure back in, to me, is a big step. This is an important part of the Hive story. This is a strength of balance sheet company, so not knowing how many Bitcoin that they have in HODL was a missing piece of information. It was a gap in their information, and it was concerning to me. So they have now told us what that number is and filled that gap. As of today's date, which is January 9th, Hive maintains its treasury of 2,348 Bitcoin with a market value of over $38 million. So I did a little calculation, and it's just going to be an estimate because you'll see they don't report their exact month-end numbers. So if I look at their numbers, their Bitcoin in HODL on 11/5/2022, 3,311. They mined 264 in November, and they mined 214 in December. So that leaves a total of 3,789. As of January 9th, 2023, they had 2,348. That's what we just saw in this update. In that just about 2-month period, they sold somewhere around 1,400 Bitcoin. This is coming up with 1,441. And again, that's an estimate. It's going to be plus or minus of that number. They mined under 500 in that same period, so they sold almost triple what they bought. But at least now we know this is their HODL balance. They bought some machines on the spot market. They bought some of their own custom machines. So in addition to that, it looks like they probably paid for operations because this is not a company that's been heavily diluting themselves. And they did not take on any new debt. So it looks like they moved to a formula where they tried to pay for their operations and their growth here with the sale of Bitcoin. If I look at Hive's sales by month for the year 2022, you'll see in January of 2022, they mined 425 Bitcoin equivalent. Now, they peaked in August of 2022 and they had 519 Bitcoin equivalent. So September, that went to 396. So that was a drop off. And a lot of that was because for half of the month of September, they could not mine Ethereum anymore. So, but you'll see there's a bit of a disturbing trend, but I do have one piece of information that mitigates this to some extent. This trend does look very disturbing. However, there is a huge mitigating factor in the month of December. They got paid $3.15 million, which is the equivalence of another 184 Bitcoin. So this number that looks like a continuation in the decline of their production, actually financially speaking, this was a better month by far than really November and October. So we'll wait and see what happens in January, but I'm actually a little bit encouraged by December's results. I'm encouraged by the fact that they have disclosed their hodl position and we understand what's going on with their company a little bit better now. They did mention they're at 2.06 exahash, so I just want to go back and take a look at something. So in the month of November, they were operating at 2.31 exahash. So that actually went down from November to December, and that is not part of the energy credit. That just means their actual potential exahash rate has gone down. I don't know if they're retiring machines in anticipation of their new ASIC miners from Intel, but that did go down. So that is definitely something I want to keep my eye on. They bought some machines on the spot market and they are adding their own custom machines with the Intel disk. So I would expect in 2023 that number to turn around, their exahash to go up, their production to go up. So if I look at Hive, this is on the 1 week time frame. So if I look at them zoomed out, you're going to see they're down 92.3% from their highs of last November, which was November 2021. So that was about 14 months ago now. So they're way off of their highs. However, if we zoom into the 1 day time frame, you're going to see that over the last basically week, Hive is up almost 60% in the last 5 or 6 trading days. Almost 20% of that is today. So they have had a good run. It looks like they've put in a new bottom somewhere around $1.36. All the Bitcoin miners seem to bottom out somewhere here on the first day of trading in January of 2023. And it's been up ever since. So I don't know if this is just a very short-term relief rally, but Hive did establish a new low. Hive had a little bit of a rally here in late October when Bitcoin also had a little bit of a rally. This was before the FTX situation that basically took all the Bitcoin miners down with it to new lows. So if I measure from where they are in the middle of the trading day today, back to that high back in late October, which was, a little over 2 months ago, that'd be another 73% increase in the price of this stock. So Bitcoin is just over $17,000 today. Bitcoin was pushing $21,000 at that time. So I would expect if Bitcoin could have some type of relief rally over the next 3 to 6 months, and Hive can continue to show us good operational updates, then I think this is a very realistic price target. So obviously this is not financial advice. These are super, super volatile stocks. They're dangerous stocks. A lot of people have lost a lot of money in the Bitcoin mining stocks. So please trade carefully. I just want to finish up by showing you my top 8 Bitcoin miners that I made in December, at the end of December, coming into 2023. So these were my top 8 at that time. This was just a few weeks ago. You're going to see I had Hive at number 8. That represented them dropping down the list a little bit from my perspective. So they're still in the top 8 in my mind. I'm still comfortable with leaving them where they are, but they have the opportunity in 2022 to move up my personal list. And they made a step in the right direction in the month of December as far as I'm concerned. So I'm comfortable where they're at. I'm glad they're in my top 8. And I'd like to see them have a great year and move up this list. We'll have to wait and see what happens. So that's what I got for you on Hive for December of 2022 and the year of 2022. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.